Alrighty, we are live now with our day 2 of Blueprints. In both sense of the term, we will be playing the second day of our playthrough of Blueprints, and this is also our second day of streaming Blueprints. Hopefully, we can get to maybe more than one day tonight. That's a weird thing to say. One game day in tonight's session. But we'll see how it goes. We're running a little slow because we were doing a lot of explaining last time. That will probably be less of an issue this time around. I'll just do a quick recap of some of the things that we were doing and some of the things we achieved. So the big premise is we inherited this manor, Mount Holly, uh, on contingent on whether or not we can find our way into room 46, the 46th room of this 45-room manor. We did some exploration yesterday. The previous day. Encountered, I don't know, about 30 rooms. It wasn't a bad first day. We did some major progress in that we unlocked the orchard, which got us some extra steps to start. And we also unlocked I call it the mine. I don't know the actual name of the room, but it will let us start with a couple of gemstones. We also opened a safe and found one red letter. So for one day, that's significantly good progress from my perspective. But we'll pick it up there and see what we can do on day 2. I do like the way it handles the intros for the day. I'll shut up because it's about to do the thing. Which, that's it. It just starts you the same way every day with the little zoom in and the day count, but it really makes you feel the passage of time, which is not relevant in any way, as far as I can tell, apart from some of the puzzles where you have to know exactly what time it is. But I just like that it's like, hey, you're taking a long time to do stuff, and I feel guilty the longer it goes. On my primary playthrough, I'm about 170 days in, I think.
Wow.
But anywho, we'll go through kind of fast today, and Shane's the only person on the call right now. So, Shane, if you need me to slow down at any point, just speak up. And I'm just going to point out this is something we observed last time. There's a puzzle in the office that I don't know has to do with these busts, but I am pointing out that the busts do appear in the entrance hall.
Noted.
May be related to that puzzle. All right, I'm going to take the hallway here for some exits. I think there's nothing in the hallway. Just going to fill in some rooms here. Oh, a conservatory is a good, rare, early room. Boy, I don't know. I should take it because it's a new room. So I'm gonna.
Seems like they handed it to you.
Yeah. So what's the conservatory for? The conservatory lets you adjust the rarity of some of the floor plans in your deck. So there's 3 or 4 rarities that determine how frequently you see the floor plan, and you can adjust them. One of the risks here is there are room combinations that matter to a certain degree. Like you need to find like 2 particular types of rooms to place in your manor to solve puzzles. The risk is I don't know what all of those are, so by adjusting a plan to be more or less rare, I make it easier or harder to do that. In fact, in my primary playthrough, I think I made it really hard to do one particular thing. But we got the mailroom, which I love, so I'm actually going to make the mailroom more common. I don't know if I should go all the way to commonplace, but maybe standard down from unusual. Yeah. So we'll do that. The ballroom is pretty useless. I think I'll leave that as unusual. And I don't like the gymnasium because it costs you move. It's standard. It is a 3-way exit, though. So maybe I'll move it to unusual. Maybe not. You made a sound. Do you have an opinion on that, Shane?
Yeah, 2 steps is kind of bad, but not really bad. And when it's a 3 exit room,
we'll leave it as standard. So the only thing we did then is we made the mailroom slightly more likely. Anything else going on here in the conservatory? So this is the room where the maids were photographed in, I'm pretty sure.
We do have hanging plants here.
There are hanging plants. Yeah, you can see this
I
table in
see
the
a black
background.
rook.
Yeah, it's a rook room. That's good observation. We got a dirt spot here, but no means of digging yet. There is a note here. The note says, there's some clues about drafting rooms that have specific drafting requirements that are not just random rolls. So the following appear only in the West Wing. That's the garage, the West Wing hall, and her ladyship's chamber, which we can only enter from a south-facing door. So that's one of the hardest rooms to actually draft. In the East Wing, we can get the East Wing hall and the master bedroom. The conservatory will only appear in a corner, and the bookshop will only appear from the library. But I think that's the only thing I know about in here that's interactable is that note. And the table, of course. Of course, every time you draft this room, different floor plans will be on the table, so you can make adjustments.
As you would assume.
Yep. Moving on. I think Den is good here. We can replenish our gem. Got a couple of exits. Did not look like it made a trunk this time. And this, again, just to remind the puzzles as we're going, I'm interested in these symbols on these clocks here, these little V-shaped arrows with lines over them. They might not be significant, but they caught my attention recently. All right, what do we got here? I think I'm going to take the utility closet early, which blocks off that hallway, but that's not awful right there.
Yeah, seems like a good opportunity.
Yeah, because I can turn the keycard system off already, turn off the power to the gymnasium, and on the power to the garage. Our next permanent upgrade will be if we can get the garage with power. But I am now going to backtrack and fill in some rooms from the entrance hall. Kitchen, bedroom, parlor, all are good. Maybe I take the parlor for an extra gem, or do I actually take this opportunity to take the key out of it?
Well, I guess no reason not to carry the key around a bit.
Yeah, we can always come back.
We'll be backtracking.
Again, yeah, it does go to your inventory. That's interesting. Wonder if there's anything else you can use that for. I might do bedroom here. Our layout's getting a little risky already, actually. I think we did bedroom last time. I don't think, yeah, there's nothing new here. Oh, good. We got the drawing room again. The bane of my existence. The room with all the portraits. I don't know how to interact with. Did I see the cursor change there for a second? Just out of my mind. Just to talk about, again, I think obviously your attention's drawn to this portrait here because it's the largest one in the room. It's not guaranteed to be the way you enter the room, but it means it's likely that you enter the room that way based on the layout. So it seems to me significant that it seems to me that this portrait is significant, and again, it draws a man facing left. So I've always kind of wanted to be like, all right, so whatever code we're cracking here has to do or start with the left-facing figures. And I've done stuff like, well, if you just go strictly left to right by the portrait layout, like it could be like this man, and then this woman, and then this horse, and this man, and these three men, and this boy, and these three men, but that's a little difficult to judge there. You know, that sort of thing. Those are the things I'm looking at. I did spend a lot of time playing around with the, I was working in Morse code. I was trying to get it to spell something, and I couldn't by sort of examining things that way, which isn't to say I didn't make a mistake. That's probably something, if we solve it, will be solved offline. Early office. I think I want the storeroom though.
Yeah. Collect resources now.
1 money. 1 key. 2 gems. All right, pantry, I think, is right. Get some money and a food item. Passageway is expensive, but gives us the most options.
It's a bit early to spend it, but the other
Yeah.
ones are bad.
Well, if I take the guest bedroom, then it's out of the deck. I get some steps. There's usually an item in it. And then I've still got 2 exits. The only thing that worries me is the entrance hall exit is blocked in a little bit. But I think that's the right
Yeah,
choice here. Are you disagreeing?
it's a gamble. It's not a terrible gamble.
Yeah,
Maybe 2 out of 3, but it is
I'm going
uh,
for it. I mean,
limiting
worst
your options.
case, we end the day a little early. So there was no item in here, so we just got the 10 steps. But that's another bedroom in our house. All right, back to the entrance hall.
I didn't see. Was there a chess piece in the guest bedroom? Now that we're way away from
Uh,
it,
I think it's a pawn room. Let me see my notes.
I don't have that one in my notes yet.
Yeah, the guest bedroom is a pawn room.
All right.
I probably don't have all of them in my notes either, because I solved the puzzle before I need to. Okay, so spare. We can use spare room here. I like courtroom, but it's or courtyard, but it's a waste to put it here. So that worked out. There's infrequently stuff in the spare room, very infrequently. Okay, we got passageway here. I think we do corridor first.
Yep. Passageway is great to have in your pocket for later.
Oh, commissary's good. And especially because it's the only thing that moves forward, so I think I got to take it. I don't have enough money to buy anything useful yet, though. So if we do, I'll have to backtrack. Have we done the commissary yet? Maybe we didn't draft it last time. I don't remember talking about stuff. Okay. So the commissary has some suspicious stuff here, like this is an arcade game that seems to not have any power or be interactable in any way. But in the letter we got from our father that we found in the mailroom, he said, don't spend all your time playing the game. So I wonder if there's a way to enable the game. There's also an opportunity later in the game for us to buy a home version of it. I haven't done that yet. There's a whiteboard here with a bunch of stuff on it, including some of these arrows that just make me nutty. The staff notice is the same one that's in the security room, so it just tells you about the staff being off work and the passwords on there. There's a red note here that says the commissary will be closed from day 12 to day 16. Sorry for inconvenience, but it's a red note, so it's not true. And here we have our 2 pictures to compare stage and sage, but these have little helpful notes that say with and without. So that's one of the clues that sort of hones you in on this puzzle. But how does the commissary work? So there are shops in this game. There aren't ever any people in them, but you can just kind of click on them and you can buy things. So this is not a bad shop. I definitely would love to get my hands on the sledgehammer and the shovel. I don't much care about the compass. The salt shaker would make food better. Like it improves the quality of food. So it's a good, like if we run short on steps, that's a good one. But I will come back here when we get some more money, if we get some more money, and try to buy up some of those other ingredients. Boy, this is getting risky.
Yep.
Guess I take chapel is my best option here, which is going to cost me some money. Sometimes the chapel has money.
Too late now that you've already crossed the threshold. You should have spent your money, and then it would have nothing to drain from you.
That's true. The only thing I could have bought was the salt shaker, though. So
yeah, any extra steps you got from it would have been a benefit.
All right, so yeah, we gotta get something that turns right here. Oh no, I think we have a very short day today. It was bound to happen. So what can we do with this? What we really need, like, our only hope for making meta progress here then is to get the garage. And our only hope of getting the garage is it's going to be north of the den.
Have we seen the terrace yet? If not, I think
I think we
should
haven't
do
seen the
that first
terrace.
because
I think that's right. Yeah, that's
it's a
probably
rare room.
good argument. All right, so this is the terrace. The terrace makes the other green rooms free for the day, so it's a good room to draft. Free in terms of the gem cost. A little money here, which I think is just a random drop. I don't think there's anything else going on in the terrace. Just that.
Yep.
There is on
clues.
Sorry?
No notes, no clues, nothing here.
I don't see anything. Yep. Doesn't mean there's not anything, but I don't see it. The terrace does extend past the edge of the manor a little bit, and I'm always taking note of that kind of thing because we're on the west side of the manor right now, but on the east side, there is some interesting stuff in the area just outside of the manor. There's a statue and a boat. The boat is on dry land, but I always wondered if there was a way to get to them or interact with them. So, like, placing a room like the terrace might get us close enough to look at them a little better. But I will go backtrack. I'm going to go south from the chapel. And we'll go all the way back around, and we might bail on day 2 real fast. Let's see. None of these particularly matter.
We've already seen the dark room with the light from the utility closet, so there's nothing else for us there.
That's true. Well, I'll throw the gymnasium here. Let me see if I can see if it has the sneakers in it. Well, we're about to end our day, so it doesn't matter if I walk in.
Yeah.
Oh, and the lights are off, so it actually doesn't cost us any steps. So that's good. But, yeah, there's nothing in here. Every once in a while, there's an item on this bench here. And this is a tie and a tier. All right, come on, lucky roll on garage. Otherwise, we just restart, and that was a short day. Come on, garage. No, we missed. Okay. Are any of these worthwhile? I mean, I don't think I placed the lavatory last time, so I'll place it. The lavatory
get a useless one out.
Is a dead end, and this is where the bathroom selfie was going on from the look at this, there's a big thing on the wall here. I don't know if I noticed that before.
Maintenance.
Yeah. And I feel like every once in a while there's a few items in here, but it's extremely rare. But otherwise I don't know what the point of this room is, if there's a point of this room. The Crow and Row.
Yep. Again, no information at all.
But that's it. We goofed up, so on to day 3. That's kind of disappointing. Actually, since I got a lot of steps, what we didn't do, I didn't do like a really good like breakdown of what's outside. I was kind of rushing because on day 1 I was trying to conserve steps, but now we have lots of steps. Well, let's talk about all of the things that are outside. First of all, there's this gate which we can't open here, but we can, which is weird because there's like a giant hole here. You'd think you could get through that pretty easily, or step over this very small
knee-high
fence.
fence.
We can open this gate. This is what I'm trying to get the garage for. If you power the garage always appears on the west side. You can exit and actually walk to the rear side of this gate and unlatch it. So we'll be doing that hopefully tomorrow, soon, in the next day or so, really. Here's a fountain. We can throw a coin into it. We can also later on drain the water from the fountain, and there's a staircase in there. If you drain the water, all the coins that you've thrown into the fountain are on the stairs. That's a funny touch.
Hey, then you're reaching up a future run. Throw all your money in it.
I suppose I could.
Make every wish.
Can I throw more than one a day? maybe I can only throw one a day in.
Yep.
So down here on the lower terrace, we have. Oh, look, those guys look like gems. Interesting.
Leafs.
Here's a boarded up passageway that gets us to the basement. If we get the powered hammer, we can get through there. This is where our Zelda puzzle is going on. If we light all 4 of these, this will reveal an elevator to a lower part of this overlook. If you see, like, off in the distance there are these, like, rooms that you can view out of. There's this big underground structure below the whole manor. So, like, if you look on the right side here, we can get down to there from the elevator. And I think the ones down there are some of the, air quotes, end game stuff in terms of getting to room 46. There's bird bath, but bird bath doesn't seem significant.
Color tiles. Collect all the data.
Well, oh man, I hate to say this.
Screenshotted just in case.
There is I'll show it to you later. I don't know if it corresponds to this, but it will be good to compare it to this. There's a symbol on a map that we don't encounter until much, much later, but it shows a pattern of, I think, 8 of the, maybe it does actually correspond to this. That would be awful. A pattern of 8 tiles that look like this with, like, some directions for how to walk on it or interact with it or something like that. So down here we have an entrance to the under part of the manor that's dark. And there's some stuff here we can interact with, but not in the dark. But if we get a source of fire, we can light these torches and then interact with it. Talking about all the things we didn't get to do today. That's kind of everything down here on this overlook that I've found so far. We kind of went through this part, but we did it really fast before. So this door is to the server room. We will solve a puzzle in the laboratory, a multi-step puzzle that will let us open that. And within is a 5th computer terminal and a puzzle I don't know how to solve. This gate, I feel like...
You already covered this one before.
Yeah, I know. I'll mention it again. I feel like we can open it because one of Alzara's predictions shows a gate like it being opened. And he said that it was not from our actions. It would be from the actions of someone else. We snagged the hidden room there already. None of this is navigable. I mean, I think that's kind of everything. Like, this is the orchard. We've been up in the orchard. Let's do a quick once over. Yep, sure is an orchard. More bird baths. There's a sundial here. I don't know if that's significant.
Another time of day item.
Oh. Well, that's nothing, but I didn't realize I could walk behind that. There are some, like, and we've read through this notebook before. There are some, like, really narrow places you can squeeze through and, like, get to things, so that's something I should always try. Call something out if you see something like, hey, can you get there?
All right.
And again, in the middle of all this jazz, this is where we're camping for the evening. But it's non-interactable. Just interacting with it tells you how to end the day, which we're going to do in a moment here. And I think that's kind of everything for now.
Yep.
All right. Well.
Oh, the gem cavern you didn't look at, but
yeah,
covered that before.
Kind of. Yeah, there's nothing really new or interesting in there. Gemstone Cavern. Yes, that's the name of it. I had forgotten the name of it. I should try to remember that. Boy, it feels like you should be able to get more gems.
You just pluck them out of the walls. They're already cut and shined and everything.
Just like that's how gems work, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're gonna call it. What is that? Is that anything? Probably not.
All right, call it.
All right. Yes. Bad day 2.
Reducing our average after a good day 1.
Think I killed it with that guest bedroom? I guess it wouldn't have made a difference.
Yeah, your other options weren't any right-hand turns.
All right. Day 3. Another short-term thing we're trying to accomplish is we'd love to find something that'll get us some allowance. An allowance will let us start with money each day. And there's a lot of allowance. Do I want to immediately do storeroom? Maybe. I think I will. Nook. There's an upgrade for the Nook I really like, so I'm hoping we get to upgrade it early. 10 is good here. We're getting lots of resources early. With a trunk. I'll waste my key on the trunk. Well, parlor lets us get into the corner.
Yep. Spend it and spend the dead end in there.
Well, I'm thinking about doing bedroom just so I have more exits, because right now we only have exits into this one location here.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Now, I'm going to lock off the corner forever, but that's not the end of the world. Did Dan join us again?
Yep.
Hi, Dan.
I think I joined. Did I? Am I here?
You are here.
Yep.
All right, and that'll probably be my last comment for the rest of this for the rest of the video.
All right, we'll do parlor here. I'm going to snag the key and walk with it again, like you suggested. I think I got to do chapel again. Don't need money. I do need money a little bit.
Free your mind from such materialistic concerns.
Ooh, observatory? Yes. I'm going to place this,
Gems.
but I'm going to... Oh, I can't actually go down to the den here. I'm going to backtrack and fill it in, though, before I move forward.
I had a silly question about the observatory.
Yes.
Can you put the telescope into a position where you could then jump on it later?
Maybe.
It blocks the way down the stairs when you put it low. And we did look at it.
We didn't try like all the permutations though, so it's not a like absurd idea.
I guess that's true. There might be some other way to position it.
A bit of money, a little bit of banana. You're giving me rooms that are tempting, but I'm having to avoid them for the passages.
Yeah, navigation concerns.
All right, this I like. Now let's see if we can get.
Wow, the windows are boarded up here. Is that normal?
Yeah, so this is the West Wing Hall. This is where I think we saw this room before. Yeah, we did for sure. I remember this. This is so Lady Clara Epson, this is her side of the manor. So she passed away and they like boarded everything up, and that's sort of the lore that's going on here. Gosh, I can do drawing room again. Well, I'll tell you what, if I do drawing room, I got 2 shots.
To redraw.
Yeah, I got a shot at getting the redraw to see if I can get her bedroom. I did not. I will do the guest bedroom. there's something in there. If not, I'm not even going to walk into it.
Get the 10 steps.
You have to walk in to get the 10 steps? You do. All right, then, whatever. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the hallway because I'm trying to get the garage or Mistress Epson's bedroom. Breaker. Do want it at some point. Should I do it now? It's still a little risky here, still, I guess. Let's throw a corridor in here. Which is basically just like a reroll. Ugh.
No, there's your next chance. But it really does block off the left wing. You're unlikely to get 2 straight shots in a row.
I think I'm going to do commissary because of that.
Navigation.
And again, I don't have... Let's see what they have today. Ooh, metal detector, sledgehammer, salt shaker, and gems. Which I don't have enough to buy, but I like those. So we got the garage. That's pretty good. We're looking for it, so I'm going to place it, even though it might not be the best thing to place here. Garage gets you a bunch of keys. 3 keys. And sometimes it has a 4th item over here on the table. It's got a note. The note says, Christoph, this is the 3rd time this month that you and the car have been gone when your services were required. I don't care how long you have been driving for his lordship. Your absences must be accounted for. Mrs. Babbage. And here's our pictures. The car itself, there is a unique key that will open the trunk of the car and also the door of the car. There's a note in the door, and there's 3 items, or maybe 2 items in the trunk of the car. But we can't access them just yet. But we'll keep an eye out for the car keys. But if this room is powered, I can press the button on the wall here, and it will open the garage door, and that will get us that meta progress I was talking about. So we got half of that. So now we need to find... there's 2 ways to power it. We actually, because we've already placed it, have eliminated one. So now we need to just find the breaker room. I'm going to go back to, since we can not travel south from the garage anyway, I'm going to go ahead and place a room from the west wing hallway and see if we can miraculously... Hey, we got it.
It insists upon the utility closet.
Good roll. All right, so we'll turn out the key cards, we'll turn out the gymnasium. I guess it doesn't matter what we do with the dark room at the moment. We will turn on the garage. Yay. More meta progress. So now I can open the garage door. So the garage door actually lets us get into the western side of the mansion. And back here is a gate. I don't know if this gate will open or if it's just for show. These all might be just like trying to ground the world, like putting roads where you would normally expect to see roads, then blocking your progress with the gates. And there's a passage back to the rear side of the gate we were examining yesterday. So I will unlatch that.
Just throw the latch on the ground as a steward.
Not my manner. I mean, I guess it will be eventually. And over here, I don't think there's anything in these corners I'm poking in, but there is an external room we can place. So this has a completely unique drafting pool for the rooms here. And we can choose to place today the root cellar, the hovel, or the shelter. I think we're going to start with the shelter. So I will go into the shelter. And the shelter has a passive benefit, which is it will let us avoid the effects of 3 red rooms, which is pretty good. So it's a good choice kind of in general. There's a note in here. It says, remain where you are for now. Given that the Red Guard is due tomorrow, we've agreed with your plan and have disabled remote access to the other terminals and have sealed the network mainframe. Regardless of the danger, I'm still not willing to risk removing shelter from the draft pool while the 3 of you are down there. Our best bet is to sit tight and hope for a little bit of luck. So that's referring to, we'll sort of piece together some of the meta-narrative here, but there are 3 sort of, I don't know what you call that, like insurgents, people doing political stuff, and they were hiding out here in the shelter, which was when the manor was being investigated by the Red Guard. So there's a terminal here. We can use a terminal. This terminal has most of the same options as the others. It has a radiation monitor. I don't know what this is necessarily for yet. It says a measurement of radiation levels detected in the house and surrounding grounds. These readings are often spiked by experiments conducted within Mount Holly's laboratory. The reading is 12 micro SV or higher. Emergency protocol will initiate, and all doors in the house will automatically unlock. And I think you can trip that by successfully running experiments. We haven't encountered the lab, so you don't know what an experiment is yet. So when we do, I'll explain that. But it might mean if you succeed at experiments enough, just all the doors become unlocked, which would be awesome. So the other thing we're going to do here is this thing to the right here. Exit the terminal. But this is a time lock safe. And the way this works is you have to input a date into this terminal that's at least an hour in the future. So we're on day 3. Let me check my notes and figure out what actual day that was.
November 6th or 7th.
Yeah, I think we started on 6th. So day 3 should be 9. I'll set this to November 9th. And I hope it's before 11. I'm going to set it to 11. It might be too late to do it then, but we can check. So I set the safe to that time, or it would have to be before 10. I should probably set it for noon. Let me do that.
Well, why not play it safe? Make it 1 or 2. We'll be here.
Because I'm lazy, and we can come right back and set it. Like, there is a clock in the entrance hall. So I'm gonna go check the time. Set the time for noon on November 9th.
There's a clock right on the front face.
There's a clock on the... Oh,
To
you're
the
right.
of the door,
I don't
upright.
actually need to go all the way into the entrance hall. So it says that it's a lot
9:40.
earlier than I thought. So that's not going to open until noon, but that's fine. Just remember to come back here in a couple, 20 minutes of gameplay or so. Okay, so what do we want to do from here? The garage is actually far away from our only exit, which is the observatory, so I think it's best to go back in the entrance hall. I do have a lot of keys. I'm going to open this. Lockpick set. That's funny. So the lockpick set allows us to roll to open doors. I think it's got, I don't know, I'm just kind of vibing it out, but it's somewhere between a 30 to 50% chance of opening a door without a key, which is actually really nice. All right,
Yes,
we're in
it
the
is.
observatory. Have only 2 stars. We didn't visit the observatory yesterday, so we'll get 2 trunks in the entrance hall.
Lockpick set only works on doors, not trunks.
It does, that is true.
So no reason to run back there right away.
Well, we have to choose dark room.
Yep. It's a long run back to the utility closet.
Well, I
but
don't
the lights
need
are still
to because I got the shelter.
Oh.
So it.
Yes,
Key
protected
card.
from it.
Nice. So the bad effects that this room has also includes the lights going out. So that's convenient. And I will review, since we were in that room recently, that this is in fact was that called the conservatory?
Yeah, certainly looks like it.
But yeah, I don't know what these are telling me. It's still a mystery. Third one.
Looks like it's drafted in the left-facing corner because you got the wall on the left side and windows on the right. But again, that doesn't really tell us anything.
Well,
She's
it could
got-
be in this corner or this corner, right?
Yeah, not the one we used before.
Actually, it could be any corner, right? Because it depends on how you would enter. It could work in any corner. All right. What do we got here? Oof. Big dining room. Yeah, both of these face the wrong way. We're playing with fire here.
Say gymnasium because we're immune to it.
That's probably good. I like getting the dining room for the food, though.
Well, it's gonna be a while till we can pick it up.
All right, that was a failed lockpick attempt. Hey, a security room.
Nice.
I'm going to take it for the travel.
good.
We haven't done the coat check yet, though. Yeah, I have the keycard, though, so we can make the keycard doors plentiful. Oof. Making me nervous. Time for another math puzzle. Everybody loves math puzzles, right?
I love math puzzles.
Alright, well, 6. We have 4 and 2 and 3 is 9. And we have 3 and 8 is 11, minus 7 is 4. And then 12 minus 8 is 4, times 4 is 16. I'm confused. Did I not press it? Okay. It did animate and click, so
Or each placed with the exact same puzzle a
maybe
second time.
that's what that was. That's weird if that's the case. Ooh, Archive it's crappy. Oh, but I have red immunity still. Yes.
Oh, nice.
So that's actually pretty good here. Did we do the archives before? I think we
I
did.
don't think so.
No?
Show us.
Okay. So the archives, it's mostly a big empty room. It's actually going to be a very talky room. So there's not really anything interactable in it. Under normal circumstances, if I didn't have red immunity, then from here on, one of the rooms I would draft at each choice would be hidden. And that's really annoying because hidden is difficult to deal with. But there's a scrapbook in here with a whole bunch of lore information in it that's probably
Somebody
not
dates-
relevant, but may be relevant. So I'm going to read it. Here we go. They're all newspaper clippings. So it's August 22nd, 1985. Marigold wins Herald Literary Honor. Popular children's writer Marion Marigold adds yet another feather to her scholastic cap when she discovered on Thursday that her picture book, Swimbird, had been chosen as the Herald Literary Medal Illustrated Book of the Year. This is Marigold's second time winning this prestigious honor. The previous medal was, of course, for her debut effort, which I think is The Red Prince. I think Marigold is my mom, actually, is the character's mom. She was no stranger to the public eye even before her literary success. The niece and closest living relative of Baron H.S. Sinclair, Mary began using Marigold as a pen name to free her from the political associations that one might make with the Sinclair family. Here's something from January 27th, 1986. The Swimbird author never considered herself a success. This is by Gail Hermes, Herald staff writer. read everything here. She confided my son was the one that actually got me to start writing. I'd always challenged myself to never tell him the same story twice at bedtime, so he ran out of books we owned. My imagination had to take over from there. Marigold has elaborated in previous interviews that her debut book, Red Prince, is based on her son and his inflexible love of the color red, a statement that has been held with much skepticism by the many pundits that viewed the book as a rather thinly veiled political critique of the Royalist Party and their unwavering blind loyalty to the throne. So the reason they're saying that kind of stuff is the country we're in is called Fen Ares, and its banner is red. There's a lot of red association with the country. November 11th, 1986. Publisher and author detained by the Red Guard, questioned. Caleb Manning and his publisher Philip White were 2 of 3 dozen names that appeared on a leaked dossier, naming them a person of interest in the Trinsdale bombing that killed 4 people last Tuesday. So these might have been some of the people that were in the shelter. Although no group has come forth to officially take responsibility of the attack, that's a weird use of that word there, it is widely believed by authorities to be the work of the insurgent group RLCF, who also call themselves the Children of Black Water. Black is the color associated with the previous leadership of the country. So there was a revolution, and one side won, and it became, it was the black country, and it became the red country in terms of their colors, their primarily associated colors. Ruffington Press was quick to dismiss the rumors in a statement released on Friday, maintaining that the popular author and Mr. White were simply victims of an unfortunate happenstance, whatever that means. This would not be the first time the publishing house has defended a rogue employee. 3 years ago, an associate editor with the company was arrested for criminal conspiracy, though the charges were later dropped. On November 17th, Marigold drops publisher. Local author and popular personality Marion Marigold has announced a split with her long-term publishing partner, Ruffington Press, citing personal reasons. The announcement came after the arrest last week of fellow author and colleague Caleb Manning, whom Marigold has past referenced as her mentor, friend, and confidant. Marigold is the 3rd prominent writer to distance themselves from the publisher this week. Manning and White at the press function, and you'll see more pictures of these guys in the future. So, I think there's a criminal conspiracy going on in the manor, or was in the recent past, or within the last decade or two. Boy, this is just a snippet here. Was seen at the corner, suspicious bag under the waved down local. This is the 3rd major last year. Is anticipated. Charged by the Crown. Manning was the last. The trial begins on 2. Expected last up to with grand treason. February 22nd, 1987. No trace is discovered of Cinca Eris, but the search continues. Mary Matthew Jones, the author and illustrator whose fanciful stories are written under the pen name Marion Marigold, was last seen by a close friend about 3:45 p.m. Friday, getting into a carriage after the late luncheon date at the 100 Bells Tea Room in Trinsdale. Mrs. Jones never arrived home, and the carriage driver cannot be located. Family and local authorities are very concerned, but have not deemed the case foul play. It's an out-of-character incident at this point, and we are seeking information. Oh god, there's still more. September 2nd, the priceless jewels stolen in dramatic Royal Museum heist. Thieves in the royal capital of Fen Ares, that's where we are, where that's the capital city, it's also named the country, have broken into the Crown's fabled closed exhibits. These lavish rooms have historically been reserved exclusively for use of the aristocracy and high peerage, and access has never been granted to those outside noble circles, at least not until today, as local police and forensic experts have been spotted virtually every corner of the museum grounds, dredging for clues. The museum's authorities said they were alerted in the middle of the night by reports of several masked intruders seen breaching the south wall and brandishing firearms. The intruders broke into the museum, subdued the royal guard, and disabled the security system. By the time the militia arrived on the scene, the burglars had simply vanished. Although an official registry of the lost jewels has not been publicly announced, among the treasured artifacts rumored to be stolen are the renowned Ruby Crown of Orinda Ares and the priceless crown jewels of whose material worth pales in comparison to their historical value. If the rumors are true, evidence may suggest that the theft was politically motivated. So this is why I think that the red gems we're finding in the vaults, or we found one in a vault so far, are actually these crown jewels. I think that's the last page. We did it. Sorry for extra reading in this room. But yeah,
There
I
were
think
a lot
that's
of dates in that.
There sure were. There sure
So
were.
many dates. Wrote them down.
So I may have mentioned this before, but there's a room we haven't seen yet called the aquarium, and in the aquarium are aquariums, of course. But in the fish tanks in the aquarium are little dioramas, and if you drain the water from the fish tanks in the room, you can see symbols by the little dioramas. And in those symbols, there is an X pointing to a diorama that looks a lot like this room, and it looks like it's pointing to this cabinet. This cabinet is not interactable as far as I can tell, but it might be. I haven't shown the other case of this here, but there are a couple of like hidden interactables. There's another one pointing to the laundry room as well as and the patio, I think. So it might be like
We'll
you
see
need
when
to,
we get there.
yeah, you need to click with all three of them, or interact with all three of them, or something like that. All right, where am I going here? Well, I think I'm going to do the closet.
Well, get the weight room while we're sheltered. That seems like a good.
We
Well,
are
I
still
guess it only gives us
sheltered.
one exit. It's
It's
another
it's a
exit.
good argument. We'll take the weight room.
Yeah.
Um,
Navigation.
Yep. Did we do the weight room before? I think we did. Here's a breakable wall. If I can get the power hammer. It's a shitty room. Takes half your movement just by drafting it. You don't even need to walk into it.
Time on the clock is just keeping attention. 11:25. So.
Yep. And it's a 4-hour window, so we should have plenty of time. Hey, it's the laboratory. Oh no, I have no gems. Oh, that's tragic. I should try to get to the outskirts so that I can try to get some gems. I will take the boudoir. Actually, there's a free gem in the boudoir. Red gem.
Safe already opened.
Yeah, that's weird. They did just recently patch the game. I wonder if they leave the safes open that you've already solved. Because that was definitely not the case the last time I played. Like, you'd have to enter the code again to get the gem out. Huh. Oh gosh, I'm not rolling good with this lockpick kit. Kitchen, lavatory, closet, all dead ends. I think then it's got to be closet. You got a die. I don't know if I've gotten a die before. They let you re-roll when drafting. And compass. Did we do the closet before? There's a lot of clutter in here, but I don't think any of it's interactable.
I don't think so.
Well, there's a lot of clutter in here, but I don't think any of it's interactable.
Carry on.
All right, so we're backtracking just to, boy, our only exit is the archives.
Good luck.
The boiler room's a good one. I think I take courtyard for the exits.
Yep.
Oh, we got a shovel. That'll be convenient.
Nice.
You can't dig up gems without modifying the shuttle, but you can get keys and money. Oh, there's surprisingly few dig spots here. Just the one. Okay, let's go this way and see if we can get some gems. How many green rooms do we have? Just 2. So that's not that good here. Can't take it anyway.
You've only got one choice.
I guess I'm taking it. Well, I can re-roll, but I'm not going to waste that here. I'll take the terrace. That'll make green rooms free. That's helpful. If they placed anything on the terrace, they did. There's a jewel. Or a gem. So here's the... Oh, actually, we just did the combination that I was talking about. So see, there's a boat and like a statue there. And basically, this is as close as I've ever gotten to them, but you can see them. So it makes me curious about being able to get to them. But I haven't figured that out. Like, unlike the garage, I don't know a way to exit the manor on this side. Yet. Oh no. Did I power off I did. I powered off the key cards. I'm gonna have to
Oh.
backtrack to the security room. That was silly.
Not, yeah. Powered off, but not default unlock. Well, it's not far.
My habit is when I encounter the security system, I set the default unlock, and when I encounter the breaker room, I turn them off. And I had the key card and did the mix of the two, which is the wrong thing. Well, we can't afford passageway, so it's gymnasium. I think gymnasium will actually hit us this time. Oh no, because I have it powered off. That's great.
Yep.
And we got
And
two
all
key
the free
cards.
doors.
Yeah. Give me a green room here. Patio. That's a good one. I will take patio.
Ultra secure.
So patio comes with some dig spots. It distributes a gem. Did we do patio before?
Nope.
Buried below. Occasionally, you may discover small mounds of dirt in certain rooms of the estate. With a shovel, one may be able to excavate these suspicious dig spots. So the miniature in the aquarium also points to this grill here. Specifically, it looks like it points to this button. But now I could, if I run out of gems, actually, how many do I have? I have 2. I'm not going to
Maybe-
backtrack, but there's 2 gems in there. You think I should?
Well, you got a lot of steps, and maybe there's a 3-gem room coming up.
I don't know if I have a lot of steps. I still need to get back outside to open that. I guess I did
Okay,
place
yeah.
the. Oh no, I placed the dining room yesterday. Not place it today. That's fine. Everything will work out. Oh, we
Yep.
got the rumpus room. I have to place the rumpus room.
Yes.
I think I do. We're gonna get another Elzara message and a bunch of money. Oh, I did place the dining room because that was the sound that the dining room just got populated. Where did I place it? Oh, it's way back here. But that's good.
Okay.
That'll let us get out.
Yep.
Let's do a quick once over, see if there's any extra keys or money lying around. I don't see. Oops, here's a little bit. Missed on the first pass. And we'll get another weird trip from Elzara.
And, as it was foretold, I am awakened at the sound of a dropping coin. You find yourself face to face with the great Alzara. And I suspect you wish me to look into your future. The image is becoming clear. I see the darkened cloud of ruin, familiar to us both, now decrepit, run down, and in disrepair. I see 8 red envelopes, resting upon 8 pedestals. And in these 8 envelopes, I see 8 letters penned by 8 different hands. 8 letters of which you will only ever find and read 7. Just like the art hanging on the walls of these rooms, there is a letter missing. What you have heard here has been foreseen by the great Alzara. Until the dawn of the following day, I will have nothing more to say.
So what do we get from that? The first sequence was a picture of the future of the manor in disrepair. The only thing that stood out to me there was that the car was in the front courtyard. I don't know if that
Yep.
means we can actually get the car to move. Maybe? Question mark. I've never seen the manor in disrepair, of course. The second bit was about the 8 red letters written by 8 people. Alzara said, I did notice a distinction this time to the previous times I'd heard this message. He said, we will only find 7 of the letters. He did not say we will only find 7 of the envelopes, the red envelopes. There's a lot of 8 is a very recurring theme in this game. There's a lot of 8s. So as we get towards the end of the game, there'll be 5 or 6 different sets of like, oh, we're looking for these 8 things. So we've already found one of those letters. It was in the safe. We will actually find a second one today. There's the safe that's in the shelter has one of the letters in it. And then the last clue was about how to interpret the paintings, which is actually fairly easy. We've already solved that puzzle. This is a crow and a crown. But I will keep going. We did completely lock off the left side of the manor here. So we might be nearing the end of our run here too. I think I'm going to put the office here. If I get... I don't really have a way to get into the basement at the moment. I need some crazy successful runs to do that. Some lucky draws. Still going to put the office here, because why not? We've been in the office. I don't even feel like I need to go in there. I'll see what's on the other side of the patio door, and then maybe we'll just collect the stuff in the shelter and call it a day. Greenhouse is a new room. Maybe that's worth taking. Or I could take the East Wing Hall for another roll, or I could re-roll. Well, we'll take the greenhouse. Just for the sake of filling in the rooms that we've encountered. So the greenhouse has some interesting things in it. Oh, it's got a watering can item in it today. The watering can we can use in green rooms to exchange for gems 3 times. It's also got one of the pages of the sheet music we'll be collecting. Got a dig spot. We have reduced the amount of dig spots. I'm used to seeing tons of dig spots in these places. Oh, it actually has 2 dig spots. The greenhouse is the location of one of the levers. It's the broken one. You see this symbol here. This corresponds to which door in the antechamber this lever will open. So this would open the southern door if we had the broken handle, but we don't. It also has a breakable wall here, which we could break if we had the powered sledgehammer, which we don't. But this is actually a convenient wall to break, not only because there's like some clues behind it, but there's also another exit. So once we break this wall, this will be a 2 exit room instead of just the one. But we don't have an opportunity to do that today. If we can divert water to the greenhouse, it will grow plants that will get us gems. But there's no water here now. Just going to take a peek at the boat and that statue, which can't get to from here. But I think that's it for the day, so I'm going to go run back to... Well, I'm going to run back to the dining room to top off our steps. And then I'm going... I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I'll water and collect something, just in case. I want to see it.
I did it again there, I think.
Or did it automatically increase your gems?
Yeah,
or something?
it's not that fancy. Where the heck is this way? Today's meal is country stew pie. If we had a boiler room, it would be 10 extra. But we do not. But 10 is plenty. Or 20 is plenty, rather. Okay, where are we? How do we get out? Through the dark room.
Oh, you didn't use the twist key, but I guess that would just give us gems, which we don't need anymore. So never mind.
Yep, that is so. I can open the chests. Gem key money. Car keys. All right. That's something. I'm going to go into the garage from the outside because it'll be a shorter trip.
Yes, shortcut.
But not before we claim our prize in the time block. I hope I did it right.
Which day did you say it was? November 9th?
Yeah, that is the math I did.
So, assuming it's 6 as the...
Oh no, did I screw it up?
So if it's the 7th as the first day, that would be...
Oh, you know what I did?
What?
It was not 12 a.m.
It's
It was 12,
12 a.m. It's
p.m.
12 p.m. Lol.
So I'm going to set it for 2 p.m. And we'll come back here to, I think it's still before 1.
Well, we can look outside.
I always get those AMs and PMs mixed up. That's
I should have caught that. In my defense, I'm drinking whiskey.
well, that's all right. It might be
It's already
1:30.
2:30. Yeah, 1:30. So it has to be 3 to be
Yep.
an hour ahead.
All right, we'll go set it for 3. And then we might need to dick around for a little bit of in-game time. I should have enough steps to get to the garage, but not to do a whole lot more, so need to be careful about that then.
I expect all we'll be doing is looking in the garage and then dancing around.
Hey. All right, in the garage, we can open the trunk. Ooh, we got, shoot, we got an
No.
upgraded. Actually, I
How
can
many
use it
keys?
in the shelter. I can use it in the
Nice.
shelter.
Beautiful.
And we can also open door, and the only thing that's in the car, as far as I can tell, is this note here, which says the drop-off address is 14227 Sandy Heights, a small garage on the south edge of Trinsdale. The goods are already secure and in the trunk, so just unload it and get back here before noon. Seen Sinclair's schedule, and I don't think he'll be requesting the car today, but you never know when the cat will want to get some air. Tomorrow will likely be the last delivery, and I believe that Denny already has payment ready. So I think these guys are, like, the driver is a moonshiner. We find some more evidence of that later on. I think that's what that's in reference to. But that's it. So I'm going to go back to the shelter and use the upgrade disc. And then we wait like 10 or 15 minutes, unfortunately. might go stand in the courtyard where we can see the clock while we wait.
Yep.
Oops, that's not what I meant to do.
We haven't logged into the network. Is there anything available there?
It should be the same as the other rooms, but I will show it just to kill some time anyway.
Yep.
Hey, we rolled the Nook. I get to make the breakfast Nook. Let me just compare it to the other options to make sure. So we can get a Nook with 2 keys. We can always draw the library when we get the Nook. But I think the best choice is bacon and eggs. Bacon and eggs is 10 steps, and it lets you draft. It adds a room to your drafting pool.
Ooh.
So that's the one I kind of always do. I'm going to do it. Yes. Okay. Oh, yeah, you said log onto the network.
Yeah, just to see.
So the staff services, the same stuff as before. Remote terminal access, same as before. We have 3 of them online. We can't access electronic mail from here for now. And then the data transfer in the glossary, same things.
All right.
And that's that. So I'm going to go stare at a clock. And we're waiting for 3, and it is just a little bit after 2. No, that's not too bad.
So the note in the car said that Denny already has payment ready, and that's, I assume, Denny Ravane, the ex-groundskeeper who was fired for negligence.
That's a good connection, but I'm bad with people's names, so that's really helpful if you can collect up these names.
Yeah, we know the driver was also fired for being, or at least warned for being bad at his job, so it seems like those 2, plus it sounds like a third, were doing crimes. We assume it's moonshine, but could be.
Well, the groundskeeper, I think, the what I've pieced together about him is I think he was blackmailing Sinclair. I think he found out some information that might have to do with like the political stuff. He's the guy. We're going to find a lot of notes about somebody trying to break into room 46. And I think they're all from him. And I think he got into room 46 and learned something there and then tried to blackmail Sinclair, and then they fired him for that. I think. So, I could be mistaken about lots of those pieces. I can put another coin in the fountain.
Oh, yeah, maybe it recharges. Yep. So also, are we sure about the November 6th as the starting day? So day 3 is November 9th?
Nope. Not 100%. Like 90%, like 80, 90%. So, per my notes, the first time I solved this in my first playthrough, I did it on day 21, which was Friday, November 27th. So that's the math I'm using. So I think day 3 is November 9th.
All right.
But there's always room for me to have screwed something up.
Seems pretty conclusive.
We do have enough stuff to, we have enough steps to take one more shot at it. If push comes to shove. That would be kind of awful streaming, though.
Yeah. Just fast forward this part. So we don't know who wrote that note in the car. Assuming it was to the driver, then the driver and Denny are two separate people, so the writer must be the third. But we do not know who that is.
That's a good point. I can't venture a guess at this point.
Going over the many dates from the archive news set. I guess we just have to add all of these dates to the safe pool and see which ones are available. There's a lot we haven't tried for the office room safe, but our clue on that is the March of the Count, or whatever was in that note about the book names. Don't know that... I don't recall seeing anything about the Count in the news articles.
Now, the
Just
Counts,
authors and publishers.
I think those are members of the royal family or the family tree of the Sinclairs before, like, in ancient history. I haven't drafted the foyer yet, but it has busts of all of them with their names on them, but no dates. And interestingly, the Queen has a different title, but otherwise all the titles match up. She's from the country, I think. There's a fictional country, so there's like 7 countries. No, I guess 8, because the magic number. 8 countries in this game. And one of them has a fictional language, so I think that her title is Queen in the fictional language. But everyone else's title matches that note with the books on it. Five minutes.
You can start walking there. It'll surely be ready by the time you arrive. Maybe not quite. Alright, this was a terrible mistake. Now we're going to spend 10 minutes waiting here just to be sure that it's past 3.
Well, I can
So
keep
that
clicking
picture
on
on
it.
the wall
Oh,
is
it opened our-
different. Hey, look at that.
So again, red gem. There's a little gold stand again, which there's one of in the gardener's shack, and red letter number 7. Dear Uncle, the disappearance of my cousin Mary has long set. Wow, let me start over. The disappearance of my cousin Mary has long sat unfavorably with me and my father, and I will freely admit to you that the chilly airs of indifference you may have felt in my presence can be attributed entirely to the suspicions that I have harbored for these past years, suspicions entirely aimed at yourself. And while I have never had the opportunity to prove it, I felt very strongly that you had some deeper involvement in those events 4 years ago. The circulating rumors of these months did not but further reinforce my convictions in this fact. Those of us that are once bitten are twice shy, and am aware of the cost my aggressively aloof behavior has had on the social standing of our family. I do not apologize for my actions, though I am now willing to admit that the conclusions I reached may have been flawed. Last week, I had a confidential conversation with one of our mutual acquaintances. A conversation that has shed more light on this mystery than all of my father's countless, fruitless inquiries over the years. I now have reason to believe that you were in fact responsible for smuggling my cousin under the cover of night across the red border to the southern seafront. I believe this may have occurred in September, a full 7 months after she was reported missing. A date that coincides not with her public disappearance in February, but instead with the notable theft of the Ruby Crown. If the Blackwater insurgents were in fact responsible for the heist, as some have claimed, I believe this scenario entirely plausible, and the fact that 2 of the Crown's 8 rubies now have surfaced has given me renewed optimism that she is still alive, safe, and finally free. Perhaps my willingness to accept such a sensational story betrays my own desperation for answers, desperation for hope, and desperation for a narrative in which you are not the villain. In that distinct land we all dream of, the land where the strangling crimson curtains draped across our sky are pulled back, and the windows and shutters of discontent flung wide open, in that distant land I pray one day to find our Marion safe, happy, and absolved. From Courtney. And that's that. I think that concludes our day. What were you saying about a painting?
The one on the wall. It's not a plain ink on paper sketch like all the other framed paintings we see around the manor.
That's true. We're not in the manor. We're in the outer room.
Yep.
I think that's just a property of this room. I don't think that's significant, but good, worth pointing out, I suppose. So I think our day is done. Should we go for another one
Yep.
tonight? You guys feeling up for another day?
Yeah, it's only 9 o'clock. Let's do it.
All right. We'll call it a day. Garden Manor.
4 green rooms, and that's all it cares about. I guess they're kind of rare.
So now our new MO is to immediately turn around and go out here and place the exterior room at the start of each day. Which does cost us 4 steps. Minimally.
Benefits seem huge.
Let's see what we can get here. I'm going to take the trading post, because that's going to let us get our first allowance. So here's the trading post. At the trading post, if you have items, you can trade them for other items, which might be useful if you're looking for a specific item, although it is a little challenging to get a specific item doing it that way. There's a stick of dynamite here that we can't take, but we can light if we have a means to start fires, and it will blow a hole in this wall. And there's actually the distillery, the moonshine distillery is behind that wall. There's a puzzle here which we're going to solve. So there are, I would say there's 8, but I think there's more than 8. There's 8 types of these puzzles, but there are more than 8 scattered throughout the mansion. And each of these, they're like a block puzzle. And the way they work is the color of the buttons that you press determine what they do when you press them. They do something. And the goal is to make all of the corners, all of the pieces in the corners the same color and the color that corresponds to the symbol. I think in this case it's yellow for this particular puzzle. So I'm just going to remind myself what these guys do. So it looks like pressing a yellow block will move it up, unless it can't move up. And pressing a pink block will rotate them around. So I'm going to press any of the corners to reset it. And what I want to do is kind of, how do I get something in the lower left here? Oh, gray probably does something too. Does it? Not really. So I'm thinking I want yellow in the corners. How do I do that? Can I
How
move?
do you get a yellow in the place where the purple is if the purple can't be moved?
Yeah, I'm missing some piece of this so far. You can solve it right away. I've done it before. And gray doesn't do anything. That's interesting.
What if you press the corners now?
Oh, wait. What the heck just
Oh,
happened?
yeah. It moved.
All right, let me reset that. So I think what happened there is...
Ah, yes. When you moved a yellow into it, it pushed the purple out of the way.
Okay, like this. There we go. Ta-da! Allowance! We can now start a day with 2 money.
Hey.
That's pretty great. But I think that's everything that's in the trading post that we can access, of course, save for...
Actually trading.
Yeah, blowing up the hole in the wall, or yeah, trading. All right,
All right.
into the mansion.
Newly enriched.
I think we don't get our allowance till tomorrow.
Seems that way.
Yeah, that is true. It would be on this table here. Okay, normal mansion exploration to start. Well, we haven't done the coat check, so I'm going to do the coat check. It's not useful to us now. You can store an item and the coat check, and then retrieve it the next time you encounter the coat check, or at the same time. I think it locks down those items, so I think if an item is in the coat check, you won't find it in the mansion, which is a little annoying.
Makes sense.
The one thing that interests me about the coat check is it looks like, if you can see where my cursor is, there's like a little hatch on the floor in the back, and you can also see that if I highlight the tile, it's articulated. Is that significant? I don't know, but I don't know of a way to get to that side. Now, what's interesting about the layout of this room is there does not appear to be a door on this side to get in the coat check. So I have often wondered if I approach the coat check from the side or from the rear, if there's actually like a hidden door to get into there. But I don't know. And the reason I'm interested in that is I'm still looking for 2 of the safes. So that could be the location of one. Hallway's good. So, like, for example, here, I could take the pantry and look at the side there. Or I could take the spare room. Something. I think that's the only side angle I haven't checked, so I might just do that just to check it off. Take the pantry.
As well. We're doing short runs.
Yeah.
That's the theme today. Let's learn as much as we can.
Yeah, and it looks like this is not a way in, but it's worth checking. There are some rooms that is a solution to some of the puzzles. There are some rooms where if you approach them from a certain angle, it's like, oh, actually, you can interact with it or get in here or something. No. Guess it's Den. That's a lot of dead ends if I take the walk-in closet. That's dead ends all around, so.
Yep.
Walk-in closet is just a bigger closet. I think there's only a picture that's interactable here, but it's always guaranteed to have 4 items. I got 2 gems. Picture of, I think that's Clara Epson.
Yep. It's the one in the dark room.
Got the car keys, which are less useful now, and the coupon book, which makes all purchases 1 less. Are those Greaves? They're just funny looking shoes down there. That's what caught my eye. That's why I paused there for a second. All right. Well, help us Den exit. We need lots of exits. Courtyard's good. Did we find an item? No. No shovel. No metal detector.
Sad.
I think I'm going to do secret passage here because I think I'm going to try to force one of two hallways. So, did we do the secret passage before? I think we didn't actually. Secret passage, there's nothing interactable in it, but you can choose the color of the next room you draft by pulling one of the books here. So I'm going to pull the orange to draft a hallway. Sometimes there's a key back here, but I don't see one. So I will draft 3 hallways. So, Great Hall. Not great at this time, but I'm going to take it anyway. Because it's a 4-way. It's technically a 4-way exit. It requires a lot of keys to interact with. But the other reason to take it is the lever for the eastern side of the antechamber is in there. I'm not even going to go in because I have no keys. There's no point. But now we have the hall, so if we get a bunch of keys or the lockpicks, we can go back there and start opening some doors. Or if we get the foyer, we can do that. That would be really great, actually. Security room. Our usual door shenanigans.
Yeah.
Well, oh man, I think it's commissary. I want to go down. Boy, I want that nook though. Okay, we can buy a shovel. Buy the magnifying glass. I think I will. Magnifying glass, always useful. We do have the den. The den was the place I wanted to use the magnifying glass. Is that true?
Nook, mailroom, entry hall, and dark room.
Well, that's a crappy roll. What do I do here? Just take the observatory,
guest bedroom.
maybe?
Take the steps and go.
Yes. I got a gem out of it as well. I think you're right. I think it was the nook I wanted to. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Well,
this
that's gonna be a really short day. Let me see. Is there anything I can do? Everything is locked. Wow.
Everything's locked.
That was unfortunate.
Blazing through these days.
Well, that one was like 5 to 10 minutes. You want to do another one?
Yeah. Wait, did you actually get an item? Can we trade it in the?
Oh yeah, you're right. I have 3 items, so I might be able to trade. I can probably even trade for a key. Good call. So that's what I'll do. I'll go do some trading and see what that gets us. I might actually see if I can trade for the shovel, because I do have 2 dig spots at least.
Shovel, and if your car keys can become normal keys.
Funny collection, and this is how this game goes. That's not the worst day I've had. I've had a. I think my shortest day was 8 rooms. It's not including the entrance hall. It's not very many. Okay, so we can trade the car keys for a coin purse. We can trade the coupon book for a compass and the magnifying lens for the salt shaker. Well, I think the coupon book is actually the least useful thing. So I'm going to trade it for the compass.
Oh, can we put something in the coat check next time?
For the sledgehammer, we could put everything in there. The sledgehammer is pretty good, but I can't use it.
You can check multiple items?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh.
I'm going to trade for the sledgehammer. Sledgehammer goes back to the compass, so that's not useful. I think I got to give away the car keys. I'm going to try to hang on to the other 2. See what we can make them into. Coupon, is that what it was? Am I in a loop here? Yeah. Can't even get the car keys back. All right. I'm gonna have to give up one of the other two. Compass, salt shaker. Man, I really wanted that magnifying lens. I paid for that magnifying lens. And I can get a key from it.
Hey.
So sad.
Zero items magnified. But the day goes on.
I think my saving grace now is the foyer. I don't think I'm gonna be able to miraculously draw that, but that would change everything. Ugh, being
Yeah.
mean to me today. Well,
Yep.
it's got to be the weight room.
We only needed 23 steps anyway.
Oh, there's a keycard door. Well, no, I should do the parlor. I was going to do the laundry room because we haven't done it. But I'll do the parlor, and I'm actually going to solve the parlor game for the gems. Because I'm a little short on everything at the moment.
Yeah, I
All right.
haven't seen anything that would hint at. Well,
The
clearly
gems are
line
on the
box.
floor, so that's false. The gems are in this box, unclear. The gems are on the desk, that's false. So this is true. I don't think I've seen this puzzle. I wonder if because I just walked by them a couple of times, it made an easy one for me. Oh my gosh.
That'll teach you for not having a lockpick kit.
Well, the Nook will get us a guaranteed key.
Yep.
That might be the way to go, because it'll get us some steps too. It's risky, but I think I gotta do it.
I want bacon and eggs.
Yeah, well, it gets us
Morning room.
10 steps in the morning room. The morning room is a green room that will get us some gems, but also we'll start the next day with gems if we draft it. I want to make sure I have some mobility here. Chapel's pretty good. I think I just settle for Chapel.
Yep.
Any money? What? I used to see money in the Chapel, and now I never do. I don't know why that is. Maybe I used to draft it later. Well.
Yep. Only one choice.
Okay, pool is pretty good. Can I afford pool? Yes. We'll take pool. Because pool will let me get a locker room, and that'll kind of get us unstuck here.
Nope.
Weight
room still had an unchecked door.
It was a keycard door. Does the
was
parlor
it?
have one? Are they both locked? Am I stuck again?
Yeah, the parlor was locked.
The weight room had a keycard door.
All
I
Good to know ya.
might be, and I can go try to trade some
Go
more,
check.
or I can check some stuff into the code check.
Is kind of iffy to stake such a great item like the sledgehammer on drawing a specific room.
Well, yeah, I generally don't like to use the code check for that reason, honestly.
The coupon book, on the other hand, is something that
That's true. Get that out of the pool. I never use the coupon book. I'll stick that in there. That's a good idea, Shane. I never thought of using the code check to get stuff out of the pool.
it's the opposite of what it's for.
Hey, don't you want this? Here you go.
Now, just to check, could you check the?
Yeah, I can retrieve it right away.
Well,
And
you
I
could
can-
retrieve it, but can you
Oh, you're
Okay.
right. I can only check one thing a day.
carry on?
Well, I guess for the sake of doing all that I can, I'm going to try to trade the sledgehammer for something. With my 15 steps.
Yeah. At this point, I'd say call it a day.
You want to do another one?
Yeah.
At some point, we got to not do another one.
Yeah. I mean, at this rate, though, we still got another day or two in us.
The charming cottage.
Charming failure.
I mean, one of the things we're doing right now that's actually pretty useful is getting all of the exterior rooms drafted. Mr. Simon, no, Master Simon. Good morning. It has come to my attention that you've been granted a daily allowance to use while on the estate. If it's convenient for you, I will leave the required sum here in the entrance hall each morning. If there's anything else you require, please do not hesitate to ask. Even though we have all been requested to remove ourselves from the premises during your stay, I can assure you I'm still personally overseeing that the estate is at least operating at a baseline standard of service, and I hope you will one day come to expect of us. That I
I
hope you
need to
will.
complain about this cursive font. It is such a failure of being cursive. Those E's. Carry on.
Yeah, okay. From Ann Babbage, the house manager. But hey, we got 2 money. And you can get your allowance like ridiculously high to a point where eventually money just isn't a problem for any situation. There's actually a trick if you. Let me see here. Hovel or tool shed. I almost always pick the tool shed, which almost makes me inclined to pick the hovel because I will eventually just constantly pick the tool shed.
Yeah, hobble out of the way first. We're burning through days, so let's.
So the hovel changes
the
the
way.
rules quite a bit, and it makes it kind of interesting. It means that throughout the day, gems will not matter any longer, but steps matter a lot. And I'm much less good at that, but we'll do it. So this is where I think the gardener lived. I think this is his hovel. So there's a note here. It's a notice of termination. Dear Mr. Ravine, your half-hearted dedication and maintenance of the grounds have been greatly appreciated. However, I regret to inform you that your services as the groundskeeper at Mount Holly will no longer be required, effective immediately. This decision has been made after careful consideration and is based upon repeated observations and documented instances of neglect in the performance of your duties. The state of the green rooms in particular has deteriorated significantly over the last few months, which reflects poorly on the rest of the staff. You are required to vacate the hovel by the 20th of March. March 20th? Ensuring all tools and equipments belonging to the estate are returned to the tool shed in good condition. Your final wages will be settled promptly upon completion of these instructions. We thank you for your time and service and wish you the best in your future endeavors. Ann Babbage, the house manager. Got a dig spot. Oh, we got another gas thingy.
Nice.
There is a note on his bed. So this is what makes me think he was the guy who was trying to break into room 46. You will find there's several notes like this throughout the manor. This is 45 rooms. He's just doing the math here. I don't know what the heck this is. Where's room 46? 7590. Another date. Tested my full house theory. No luck as expected. So if we run this through the math, so we could do 4 plus 5 is 9, times 2 is 18, divided by 9 is 2, minus 2 is 0. But I don't know what any of these numbers mean. Unless it's a 45, but it's still just like kind of
45 times 2 is 90, minus 9
it's
is
divided by 9
81.
is 10,
Or divided by.
minus 2 is 8. Actually, that's more significant because 8 is a very common and important
8 is-
number. there's 45 is the number of rooms. This the 2 wings and the 9 ranks and the 2 starting rooms? Like, it's just a ramblings of a mad person. This is the kind of notes I would write.
Yeah. This is clearly meant to be a raving thing, but that is absolutely certain that it's going to be good information in here. I note the as expected is in red. And also, I guess the coincidence is in red.
Anyway, there's a note. Maybe that's significant, maybe not, but that's all that I think is interactable in the hovel. Now let's try a house run without gems, but way fewer steps. Good luck, us.
It's kind of amusing because that means if that's where the guy was staying when he was trying to investigate the place, it means he didn't need gems to put down any rooms.
Interesting. Yeah. A little bit of lore building there. Did we do the nursery before? I think we did.
Nope.
No? Nursery is new? Okay, so the nursery is a great room, especially for today. It gives you steps whenever you draft a bedroom. So
Just
we can just
drafting it, not
generate
even entering
steps by drafting a bedroom. There's a whole lot of detail in here, but nothing is interactable except...
Wait upon.
Yeah. Except for this book here on the desk, which is the Red Prince. We also got an item. Item is the Rabbit's Foot, which makes it more likely that we'll find items, so that's good. Time to read The Red Prince by Marion Marigold. There was a red prince who sat on a red throne. He had a red crown made of rubies and a red castle made of stone. The cadence on that is terrible. The prince had a love for all things red. It's the only true color, the prince often said. He could not stand the sight of a canary or crow. He could not stand the weight of a swan in the snow. He never looked up for fear of the view. He had heard that the sky was not a red hue. So he always had a book to turn his eyes down if he was ever outside when the clouds weren't around. And do you know which book the prince always had? The one that made him happy whenever he was sad? A story he had read in the bath and the bed, and maybe you can guess with the clues that we have said. It was a story of a boy who also wore red, and he looked like our prince from his toes to his head. As you, my reader, might already assume, this book is quite near you, in fact, in the same room. A story about you, if it needs to be said, about a red prince and his book, the book we just read. The red book we just read. So maybe zooming in on this picture might be worth doing. There's a little bit of text there I can't quite read. Everything else looks pretty straightforward. But anyway, this must be where we grew up. Sorry?
How meta.
Also, that is some anti-royalist propaganda if I've ever read any.
I'm telling you. I think we're going to do pantry for the food. Do I just get a bunch of extra steps? All right, take the
Secret
security.
navigation, we've had a lot of problems with that.
Okay,
I'd say
that's
security.
fair. That's a good argument. I accept your terms. I don't know why I backtracked just then.
Yeah.
Just threw away a step for no
Too
reason.
many steps. Got to lighten your step load.
I think I'd take dark room just for the exits.
Yeah.
Because
Risky, but acceptable.
green rooms don't help me a whole lot here. All right, that's a key card door, so we can't go through there anyway. Pick a number.
Well, we know this step one, what would take 3 gems? That seems like a expensive rare room.
I think it'll be 1 gem. I think it's 3 for 1 gem.
Oh, in that case, only 1 gem could be a lot of things, and none of them are that impressive. So I guess, yeah, left side. I take the blame. Ka-chunk.
Now we have the archives. I mean, we got a lot of
All of our
exits.
drafting.
Okay. Do I toss closet here? Maybe I do just to get rid of it. Maybe I
This
throw
is
the
our
archive.
leading room.
Oh.
Oh. Just drafting it took all your steps.
Yeah.
This is the worst day. Keeping up our run, our theme
Well,
tonight.
okay, we got the kitchen.
Yeah.
So I can sustain a little bit with money.
Our 6 coins. It gets us a banana. Purchase the banana.
I'm
too
going to
late.
hold out for the other things are much more efficient if I can get them. God, I think I got to do I do guest bedroom? I think so.
It's 15 total steps.
And a useless gem.
If only you could coat check some gems.
Like a garage, that's going to help.
3 keys.
I think I got to take it. Or spawn in here. Okay, back to kitchen, I guess. I'm gonna roll on the floor plan.
Yep.
Ah, commissary. Let's see what's for sale. Sleeping mask would be good too. Can't
A
afford
few
anything
extra
but the
steps.
salt shaker.
Well, it would combine with the banana, but you can't afford the banana and the salt shaker.
No.
Yeah.
I think I have to take passageway.
Not for 6 steps, no. I'd say take the bacon and eggs. We've still got the entire right side of the mansion to try to navigate through.
Hey, some money.
Ooh. Buy the food right now.
Gonna.
Never be closer.
Should I buy when I
Yeah.
got 16?
That's. I think 2 food items is going to be better than 15 steps. Wow.
I'm gonna buy the club sandwich. I think I'm gonna buy the mask. Or I could buy the shovel. Actually,
Sleeping
tough
mask.
call.
How many steps does the mask get you?
It'll be 5 per bedroom I enter, including bedrooms I've already drafted.
Hmm.
The shovel gives us a chance to get turnips if we can find enough dig spots. But the shovel also
shovel.
gets us money and keys, maybe. If we can find enough dig spots. That's a tough call.
Yeah, we're up to 43 steps, which is
It's not
only
bad.
medium okay.
I think I'm going to roll with the shovel.
Yeah. Now I just need to find a bunch of dirt.
Well, we need to find a bunch of paths forward. That's what we need.
Well, we know where those are, in the east wing.
Maybe. They could
Yeah.
be. There's a chance of.
Theoretically, a future path would be in the east wing.
Parlor. Gems, don't need them. Bedroom. Oh, I didn't buy the mask, though. Still a good
I've
draft.
just got to roll good to get out of here.
Den is good.
And yes,
We'll collect the useless gem. Morning room. We like it. Got a dig spot and 2 gems.
it's a newspaper.
Newspaper. November 5th, the Baron of Mount Holly names nephew as provisional heir. In the blue hours of Wednesday morning, the venerable Baron of Mount Holly, Herbert S. Sinclair, passed away at the ripe age of 73 after a prolonged struggle with a heart condition that had been kept from the public eye until his final days. Esteemed as a pillar of society and renowned for his penchant for crafting puzzles, he was a source of endless fascination to our readers over the years, not least through his popular column, Baron Bafflers, which he penned for over a decade. The particulars of the announcement of his successor yesterday has left his devoted followers with one last intrigue to ponder. The reading of his will precipitated a flurry of speculation, for his niece and presumptive heir, the much beloved and lamented Mary Matthew Jones, has been missing, presumed deceased, for the past 6 years. Mrs. Jones, better known to our readers by her pen name Marion Marigold, enchanted the hearts and minds of children across the realm with her literary creations such as The Red Prince, Swimbird, and A New Clue. Her disappearance remains one of the age's most tragic mysteries. With her whereabouts unknown, it was Marigold's own son, Simon P. Jones, a lad of but 14 summers, who was yesterday named provisional heir to the sprawling Cinca Empire. However, the vast inheritance is accompanied by an undisclosed contractual condition. Given the Baron's well-known penchant for tests of mettle and wit, it's clear that the young heir from Reddington, distinguished in his own right as last year's County Science Fair runner-up, faces an extraordinary challenge in the coming weeks. So that's
So if we
kind of
put that
obituary.
together, we can get the exact date of Sinclair's death.
Can we? The exact date? We know the year.
Oh yeah, I guess we don't know. Well, it's November 5th of 6 years after Marigold. So 11/5 of well, we'll look it up later, but we have a date. We have more dates. More
I
dates
see.
in the pool.
I see what you're saying. Oh, we got the salt shaker. Yoink.
Good thing we didn't buy it.
Ooh, and a disc.
Hey.
Where's
Now we need
do
to
we
find
have?
it.
We
Yeah,
have
need
the
a computer.
security room, but I'm going to keep moving forward, but don't let me forget to use that disc. We can do the conservatory again. No, we're going to take the bunk room. Or the steps.
2 bedrooms. So many steps.
2 bananas.
So many bananas. All right, boys, this run is looking good.
Yay, salty bananas.
That's my favorite kind.
Salty bananas.
How you make a banana better.
One step better.
I think we do courtyard for the rolls. Ooh, we got a sledgehammer?
Ooh, go back and get the box.
Coin. Where was the box? The box was in the morning room? Or the den?
I saw it 5 seconds ago. Why can't I remember?
There it is.
There it is. Bunk.
Keys. That's good.
Infinite keys. Yeah, got a chapel. Money is cheap anyway.
Well, we bought 2
There's
items that
something
were...
on the right hand side.
There's a gem.
Gem. Useless gem. Right when we don't need them.
Well, there is a way we could use them today. If we draft a very, very rare room. 3 stars will get us 3 steps. So that's... But we're keeping that step count kind of high. That's great.
Yeah.
It's drawing room.
Yep. If we can get out of this little corner, we'll be looking good again.
Pool.
Mhm. Maybe. Oh. Yeah, this gives us another forward. We still got that one reroll, or would have had that reroll.
Well, patio keeps it going.
Yep. On the edge of our seats, can we make it?
Salty turnip. Ah. Salty turnip. Yay!
Yeah. And then, oh, that looked like an upgrade disc from a certain angle. Gotta remember, still an upgrade disc.
Oh. I guess I take the corridor.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Come on.
It's a bedroom.
I need 2 exits from a room.
Something will open up.
Oh, there's some money here. Alright, I'm
Nice.
taking passageway now.
Good thing we have all these steps.
Alright, let's go down first. I think I'm gonna stick the closet there.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Key and a reroll. Let's key card door. Oh, I have limited my options more than I thought.
Yeah. I'd say secret passage gets us anywhere.
I'm gonna do the roll for the hall again. Okay, so I got the foyer.
That unlocks the passageway, or is that already locked since we
So the Great Hall. So here, the combination I want to do is I want to put the Great Hall and the foyer in the mansion.
Yeah.
The Great Hall has 7 locked doors, 3 of which are exits. The foyer unlocks all doors and hallways. So the foyer makes the Great Hall free. I guess we haven't done... Boy, it's kind of risky. I only have
Curious
2
whether
keys.
it'll unlock the existing door. I guess the Great Hall we can just go straight across.
It
We know
might.
the-
It might. It is a keycard door, but if it might, I'm going to take the foyer because we haven't had the foyer yet. I wanted to talk about it anyway, even though it's quite expensive. So here is the foyer, and mostly the benefit is that benefit I saw. But here's all the busts and their titles. So this is Lord William Epson. This is Baron Thomas Sinclair. This one is Major Nicholas Key the Fourth. This is the one that doesn't match. J.R.E. Yenna. I think that just means Queen Yenna. Baron Edwin Sinclair. And Count Isaac Gates. So all of these people match the names on that list. In fact, there's 2 barons, I think. And it's referred to as the March of the Barons. Is that right?
The book is
The Passing of the Baron.
March.
So all 6 of these people...
March of the Count.
Yeah, all 6 of these people can be referred to by that note. So
Passing of the Barons, Fall of the Lord, Flight of the Queen, Herrings of the Major.
yeah, so Queen, Baron, Count, Lord,
Wait a minute. If you count short gates, is the count short? Can we put a count on something short to count short gates?
Where does the gates come in? So I think that clue means that the small gate that was blocking the orchard counts as one of the safes. That's how I interpret it.
Yeah, that's the first level
But
interpretation.
sure, yeah, no,
but-
you're not wrong. There could definitely be a second one. Like the fact that this guy's name is Key is gonna mean something later on as
Yeah.
well.
That too.
Um,
Being named Key is just ridiculous in this game.
But anyway, I don't know that we can solve a puzzle immediately with these guys, but I think they are related to that note, which makes me also think they're related to that. What do you call it? Safe. So those are the folks. Okay, well, I'm gonna take lab.
Yes.
Boy, it's bad to get the lab late. Have we done lab before? No, we haven't.
Nope.
All right, there's a lot of stuff going on in the lab. First
Yeah.
of all, we have this heating and cooling curve. There's a small note here I can't read. That's unfortunate. I think this talks about how. So if we draft the freezer near the furnace, we can thaw the freezer. And I've been able to do that, but there's stuff that remains frozen in the freezer, so there's more to that puzzle. Those are the two rooms I was referring to where I was like, oh, I changed the probabilities of rooms. I made that puzzle really difficult to solve. But I think this is just hinting at that. There's some notes we'll read in a bit that also hint at that. We do get a computer in here, so we can cash in our upgrade disk. I'll do that right away because the prompt came up. We can change the hallway. We can add a key to it. We can add a trunk to it. Or we can add an extra hallway. I think the key is the best choice here, generally speaking. I'm going to take the key.
Steady, consistent boost.
Note says, effective immediately, electronic mail can only be accessed via the security terminal, but it's a red note, so it's false, of course. We got all kinds of crap on the wall. I don't know if or how much any of this is relevant. Some of it
Looks
is.
not relevant. We can see the
Some
two
of it is.
paintings that are
Yeah.
relevant there, and they stand out.
The periodic table is relevant.
That's definitely screenshotting this.
This spells out a message by placing the elements that these correspond to in this order. Now, what's really convenient, I think there's another periodic table somewhere nearby, but if you have the magnifying lens, you can actually see the elements. And the message is, it's push 3 up after 9 is the message. And the arrow points to this device over here. So that means the solution to this puzzle is push up 9 and then push up 3. But this device is inoperable unless we get power from the boiler room. That is a true note. So the way the power from the boiler room works, there's a couple other ways to do it, but when you place the boiler room, you can turn on the generator in the boiler room by solving some dumb puzzles in the boiler room, which we'll do. And then anything you draft adjacent to the boiler room will have power. So if you look at the ceiling here, you'll see there's like some ducting that goes to both the exits to this room. So if you draft a room that has ducting, either it will power something in the room, or it will extend the power to the adjacent rooms via the ducting. So in this case, we would have to have placed the boiler room and then placed either this room adjacent to it or, made a continuous duct to this room to power this device. This is how we get into the server room. So we can't do that just yet. Oh no, was this a keycard door? So if the foyer unlocked the keycard door to the passageway, we're good, and if not, we're just out of luck. Here's another note over here. I typically work over at Cinco Labs, but got sent over here for a month to assist more with the new turbine tests. I think I need some help. For the past 3 days, I've been unable to find the laboratory on the estate. Today was the first success on that front. Can anyone tell me if this is typical, and if so, how do you get any work done? Before I arrived, I was briefed on the way the doors work, but I must admit I did not expect to be excluded from my new workstation for the first week. Any tips from my fellow technicians would be appreciated. Kimberly Thompson. So just lore about how everybody's dealing with these weird drafting rules. And we do have a workstation, which I think here we can do. The unique function of this one is we can run experiments. And I said it's unfortunate that we got this really late. But what experiments let you do is set a trigger and then a result, and then as you're drafting or navigating, if your trigger triggers, you get the result. So whenever we draft a shop room, for each bedroom we draft after the second would have been a good one for today.
Yeah.
Each time you find some trash while digging is also not too bad for the day. And our results here are get a key for every 2 hallways. That's pretty good. Get 3 gold for each red room in your house. That's not so good. Gain 1 key, 1 gem, or 1 die randomly. So I'm going to say we're going to get keys for hallways for every bathroom we draft. You just turn this on and this runs for the day. I don't think we're actually going to get any of it. Logs will tell you the ones that we're running, and you can turn the experiment off for some reason. So there's some really, really valuable things we can do that we didn't roll today, but that are the effects. The 2 that we're going to look out for is there are ones that actually add to your allowance. So that's really good. We want to trigger those as much as we can. There's also one that delivers mail to the mail room, and the mail has like additional hints in it. So I think in my best run, I've got 4 or 5 letters in there, but it doesn't seem to it seems to continue going. So we'll also want to try to trigger those and get those letters delivered. And the network is the same as the other networks. And I must backtrack to that passageway and hope that the foyer broke it. Because if not, that's it for today. It did break it. That's awesome.
Nice.
Okay, so we got our coat check. We got the office. There's so few steps. I think the office is our only choice here, really.
We get cash, but we don't have anything to do with it. I'd say archived because that's a 3 rarity, which is something.
Or I could reroll.
I don't think. I guess you could reroll.
Let's reroll. We're kind of nearing the end. Oof, it got worse.
4 rarity archived.
Oh, we
Do
can
the
take it.
archive.
Frank, let's see what we got. Hey, we got the locker room. Okay. That's not bad. It sucks that we don't have very many steps left. So the locker room distributes keys to rooms you've already drafted. So now there's keys all over our house, but it's also full of lockers that take keys to open. So given that we have no other places technically to go.
One more.
Well, we
step
do have
up,
a door. Yeah, I'll do the door.
and then all remaining keys are for lockers.
Okay, so we got a closet, archive, or the storeroom. Maybe we'll just make it interesting and roll for it.
Yep.
We got the library. Did we do the library before?
Nope.
Okay, new room. Salty Apple
Salty
Library. So library is a room where we can sign out books that we can collect the next day we're in the library. So every other day we'll ask for a book or read a book every other day that we draft the library. So the books available to us right now are these 6, and I'm just going to pick them and do them in order. So we'll ask for The Sightseer's Guide to Reddington. And the next time we go to the library, that book will be here. It also has some information upstairs about our current run. Or save, I guess. So like we can see like how much we've played, how many days we spent, what our longest one. We had a 2-hour day. That was our first day. It was a really good day. Average days, steps, etc., etc. Rafts, blah blah
Yep.
blah.
Yep.
And over here, I think there's just more of that. Your claim ticket. It tells you about your favorite and least favorite rooms and stuff like that. Haven't made any contraptions yet. These are where the stamps will go when we start collecting them. Our largest purchase was a sandwich. And most avoided rooms, and the last page is our final exam. All right. But that's library, and I don't think any of these other things are interactable. Of course, there's a lot of stuff, so who knows?
The book in the corner.
This one does not seem to be interactable.
Carry on. It's
It is
just completely
blank.
empty.
Oh, here, I can read this. Reading. The house directory is a great resource for information. If you wish to read more about a specific room in your house, press R to pull up the directory. So that's just encouraging you to look at the descriptions of the rooms. This is also a blank book. Oh man, come on, I need some keys. Don't take all my keys. Oh, we're in the corner, so we can do conservatory. Study's a good one.
That's would have been great to have earlier.
Yes, that's true. We're gonna take the study. So the study has a lot of information about the puzzle with the two pictures that you remove a letter from. So if you don't get it by now, the study's here to be like, no, really, this is how it works. Now, interestingly, the study has a chessboard in it with a queen on it, but it is not a queen room. So I don't know the significance of that. It has a globe you can spin. There's a frickin' arrow on the side of this cabinet. Notes about this. I don't know if it's possible with so little time left, but I need to remember to ask Anne if we can commission new artwork for all the rooms of the house. We need them produced in sets of 2, a pair for each room. Honestly, I have no idea what I'm thinking, and I'm likely delusional to think this can be pulled off by Thursday. And this is some examples: sturdy, study, face ace, etc., etc. Oh, it is a queen room, because there's the queen. All right, interesting. So there's a little queen and a big queen here. We do have a queen room. Do we have enough? Do we have the office? We don't. Oh, we don't have the elevator, access to the elevator. Anyway, so this is another safe. Our fourth safe, if you count the small gate.
Small gate.
This is the one I know how to open, but I don't know why. The date on the crest in the wine cellar in the basement. Do you remember that? That
Yes.
opens this safe.
1208.
Yeah, I'm going to open it, but I don't have a strong reason to make an association between that date and this room / safe for any reason.
The family crest. I don't know. I guess.
But there's a
is
third
where
red
it
gem
was.
in here and a third red letter. Oh. The second letter. December 8th, M. Be prepared for our plans to be set in motion in a month or two. It's all lining up, and all of our hard work is about to come to fruition. I have just learned that several members of the museum's guard are sympathetic to our cause. We suspect 2 more to be pure opportunists whose loyalties extend only to their coin purse. Your uncle has already agreed to let us use Mount Holly's flexible floor plan for a trial run, assuming the red print we have secured of the museum's closed exhibit is in fact accurate and up to date. We should begin the trials without delay once you arrive. If you can, within the next 2 months, fabricate some fiction that might alleviate us of the presence of the servant staff until we meet on the shores of White Sands. Caleb. So he's one of the conspirators, and he wrote this letter, but we get the floor plan closed exhibit from this. And that is something we can draft on a future date. But I think that's the end of our run, right? I guess we can try to get some keys and open some lockers. But we only have 14 steps, so that's probably not going to
Yeah.
go great.
Not a lot of pickup opportunities.
We'll do it anyway. I bet there's one in the boudoir. There's probably one in the patio. There's probably one in the pool, and then I'll turn around and come back. We'll just do those. Oh, I don't see a key here. Oh, I don't see a key here either. Oh no.
Terrible
on,
key
pool.
spreading.
Come on, pool. No.
Uh,
I guess I'll go to the drawing room. That's the last step I can take. And to get back. Are there no keys? Oh, well,
locker
dang.
room, you have failed us.
Yeah. Well, there are keys. They're just not anywhere we can get to.
I take another step just to make sure that there are 6 keys laying on the table right there.
Can we, let's see, can we get to the kitchen? I don't think we can.
Nope.
Can we get to the commissary? No, it's beyond the kitchen. Yeah, this is a dead run. But, we did some good stuff today. We got an upgrade and, got another red lever, another safe. So I think that's it. And I think we should probably call it there for tonight. You guys got any final thoughts on the first 5 days of Blueprints? Pull this.
In the first day and 2/3, I'll say. All right, I did have other entries here. Oh, wait, no. I had entries for the office safe. That was permutations of the false letter from the conference room.
Right.
The safe, I still have nothing. Carry on.
Okay. Yeah, we did wind up drafting the office. All right. Well, I'm going to kill the recording, and we'll pick up here next week if you guys are still into it. Thanks
All right.
for hanging out tonight. We'll see you then.